Colonization never ended in the white supremacist system. And as we see today, the colonization is in the mind. Now, those who have been enslaved and those who have been colonized, we're still dealing with the remnants of that through the colonization of the mind. Pick up my book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, and we will help deprogram you from the colonization that was put upon you by generations and generations of white supremacy. You can pick it up today on Amazon.com.
How did this Afro-Puerto Rican scholar become known as the Sherlock Holmes of Black history? He was inspired to discover Black history after a 5th grade teacher told him that Black people have no history, that Black people have no heroes, no great moments. To prove his teacher and racist historians wrong, Arturo Alfonso Schoenberg, also known as author Schoenberg, began research on Africa and the diaspora, and over time, he became known as the Sherlock Holmes of Black history. Thanks to his persistent digging for manuscripts, Black achievements, and historic truths. A collector, writer, and key intellectual figure in the Harlem Renaissance, Schoenberg was born in January 24, 1874 in Sacha, Puerto Rico, to Mary Joseph, his African mother, from St. Croix, a Danish island, and to Carlos Federico Schoenberg, his German father. He schooled at San Juan's Populous Institute and then went to St. John's College in the Danish Virginia Island, where he studied Negro literature. In 1891, when he was 17, he moved to New York City. He first went to Harlem and then to Brooklyn. Schoenberg became an active supporter of the Cuban and Puerto Rican independence and founded Ras Dos Antillas, a cultural and political group that worked for the island's independence. When the Cuban revolutionary struggle collapsed and his home country, Puerto Rico, became part of the US, Schoenberg shifted his attention to the African American community, where he was now part of. He began studying the connection that Black Americans had with Africa, and as he moved among Black communities from Puerto Rico to Cuba to the US and the West Indies, he collected books, pamphlets, and historical documents about people of African descent all around the world. And from his collections, he wrote articles on the history of African diaspora for major Black periodicals, including New World, the New York, Amsterdam News, The Crisis, and The Opportunity. Schoenberg believed that the international Black unity needed an international network of intellectuals and collectors, and so he helped found the Negro Society for Historical Research in 1911 and used his own money to search for books and other historical documents. We need a collection or list of books written by our own men and women, Schoenberg wrote in 1913, according to one report. We need the historians and philosophers to give us, with a trenchant pen, the story of our forefathers, and let our soul and body, with prosperent light, blight the chasm that separates us. At a time when white historians were urging that Africans and other descendants were not capable of civilization, Schoenberg decided to prove them wrong by collecting evidence of Black philosophers, compassers, poets, novelists, military heroes, and painters. His curated library collection would serve as an indispensable resource of the Harlem Renaissance greats, including Langston Hughes and Zora Neale Hurston, and other black scholars such as W.E. Du Bois, Henry Clark, and Ellen Rock. In 1926, Schoenberg sold his collection of the New York Public Library, and after retiring from his job as a clerk of the Wall Street firm, he took over as a curator of the collection at the 135th Street branch of the Public Library until his death in 1938 at the age of 64. In 1973, that is 35 years after his death, the New York Public Library branch at the 135th Street in Harlem was renamed the Schoenberg Center for Research in Black Culture. That year, the New York Times reported that Schoenberg's collections contained representative works of every major black author. It also has a 1781 address by Jupiter Hammond, America's first black poet, copies of the Almanacs by Benjamin Banneker, who was employed by Thomas Jefferson, the scrapbook of Alla Aldridge, the black Shakespeare actor, the first novel by an American black man, Clotel, or The President's Daughter by William Wells Brown, the 81 manuscript volume of field notes used by Ghana Meldal in writing An American Dilemma, and the stories of such ancient African kingdoms as Ghana, Mali, Songhai, and Benin. It is said that the collection holds more than 55,000 volumes, 3,000 manuscripts, 25 archival records, 2,000 prints and posters, 15,000 photographs, 240 reels of magnetic tape recordings, 5,000 reels of microfilms, as well as photograph records, sheet music, and newspapers. Today, the Schoenberg Center remains the premier archive for the study of black culture and history in the US and the world. And that is the brief story of an Afro-Puerto Rican scholar who became known as the Sherlock Holmes of black history. That is it. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters, for watching. My name is Osie The Born Child. Yes, I'll be seeing you in another video.